Hello from our Airbnb in Aldeo de Pires, which is a little village in the district of Penamacor. So as I mentioned, this time we're staying in a different Airbnb, mostly because the other one was booked, but also it was a very happy coincidence because this is so much closer to my farm, or the farm that I'm about to buy. We took a drive up there yesterday or the day before just to go and see how far it is from here, and because I was curious to see if the landscapes has changed now after all the rain that we've received. And the farm is 10 minutes away from here, so that is amazing. In future, if I have to come up here while they do the renovations or for whatever reason, this could be a fantastic place to stay. The dogs have also absolutely loved being here. There's just so much green space for them to run around in, and they really, really love that. The house is incredibly comfortable. You guys would have seen that video. I'll post a link below to this Airbnb, of course, as well. So the day has finally arrived. The reason for my trip this time was to come up to Penamacor to sign the deed and hopefully get the keys. Today is that day. Today is the day of the deed signing, and hopefully I get the keys. This morning it's a bit of a runaround day because I have to head out to Castelo Branco from here, which is about a 40-minute drive, 45 minutes, and I have to go to my bank to get a bank check. Apparently, what I've been told by the agent is that is the safest way to do this transaction, because the payment has to be immediate for me to get the keys, apparently, and for this transaction to go through. The bank check would be the easiest way in which to do that, because they will have that cash in hand and they can go and cash it in at their leisure, basically. And although you can do like immediate transactions via EFT through your bank, via online banking, I've struggled before with the amounts that you can actually do, so that could have been an issue, and this would just be the safest way. I'm not 100% sure how it works if things were to fall through, touch wood that does not happen, and the transaction doesn't go through for any reason, because the person's name has to be on the bank check. So I'm not sure if one can actually just tear it up and then claim those funds back, or what that process is. That is definitely something I would need to look into. Maybe I learn today and then I can report back. After I've got this bank check, we've got a little bit of free time, and then this afternoon I'm headed to Idana Nova, which is about 25 minutes from where we're staying in the Airbnb, and that is where I'm meeting the seller in the notary's office to sign the deeds documents and hopefully get the keys. I'm not 100% sure if I'm actually getting the keys today, but I would think because I'm handing over money that I am going to be getting those keys. And once I've got the keys in hand, will be the dance of joy. Yeah. So the deed does not immediately reflect as in my name. There is still a lodgement period, which can take about 2 weeks approximately, I've been told, but I'm not 100% sure. So until the deed reflects in my name and this is lodged at the municipality, or the Camera, as they refer to the municipalities here, I can't change any of the utilities, such as the electricity or the water, into my name. So I have to wait for that lodgement, but that's okay. Like I said, that usually takes about 2 weeks, and I won't be doing anything within the next 2 weeks, I don't think. I'm constantly changing my mind, and the reason for that is I feel like it's a really solid structure, and I feel like there's quite a bit that I could possibly do with that, and I don't really have to even do a lot with it right now. I could possibly move in and do a lot of the work myself. The reason for this is, unfortunately, the builder that I was going to be using has already pulled out. Now, I've heard that you can have some issues with builders in this area in general, but I guess this is a good point at which they had to step out, or come out of this process, because at least we hadn't started the process. And then they decided to bail midway or something. So I just want to sit down on these rocks. So at least he didn't bail midway through the process, but rather at the beginning of the process. But the problem now is that I don't have anyone to help me with any of the renovations. So I'm debating whether I can move in and do quite a bit of the basic things myself, or at what point I need to get a builder and start doing some of the bigger renovations. Now I know I haven't shown you guys what exactly it is that I want to do with the property just yet, and what I have in mind. It's coming, I promise. When we have the keys, we'll do another walkthrough and I'll show you what I want to be doing with the structure and what I have in mind in any case. So today is the first step in our next stage, or our next phase in our life in Portugal. And I'm excited to see that this all goes smoothly. So touch wood, fingers crossed that we get the deed signed today, that everything goes smoothly at the bank, and that I end up with the keys in my hand by the end of today. See you later. Okay, so I apologize that there is no further video after this point. The day went really smoothly and I was so excited, too excited in fact, to take a further video. So the bank went really well. Everything was so quick. I was in and out there within 15 minutes. It was literally such a smooth process. Sat down with the bank representative, asked what I wanted, which was the bank check, or cheque bancario as they refer to it here. He took my details, he looked at my account obviously to see if the funds was in there, he took down the name that should appear on the check, and 15 minutes later I walked out with check in hand, which is very similar to the olden day checkbook checks that you used to get. And the case is, obviously, if that person doesn't cash the money, that money does not disappear out of your account, which I probably should have known. So if it never gets cashed in, the money stays in your account, quite obviously. So you literally can just tear up the check should anything happen. I later in the afternoon then went up to Idana Nova, to the notary's office. And walking in, I got quite a surprise at the office, because the entire office was full. It was chock-a-block. All the people that signed the original offer to purchase had to be present. I thought it was just going to be myself, the agent, and the notary and the seller present, 4 people. But walking in, it was a full office. The seller was there, the agent was there, the notary, of course, and 7 people sitting. Everyone that had a signature on the original offer to purchase had to be present at the deed signing. I had no idea. So the seller mother was present, as well as all of her adult children, of which there were 6. So 7 people had to sit and sign the deeds papers. It was quite a long process, much longer than I expected. And the only reason for that is that they conducted the entire thing in Portuguese, and then it had to be translated in English for me, which I was super grateful for. At least I could understand what they were saying and what was happening, but it did make the process a lot longer. I felt very sorry for all the people that had to sit and endure this, but they seemed happy. I was happy to get it all done. Most of the time I felt completely overwhelmed a little bit, and I did feel that there was a lot going on. They also asked all the signatories whether anyone had any objections to the sale. No one had objections. So everything was signed, and I had one question, of course, on my mind, as you guys can imagine, and the question was, do I get the keys? In fact, I did get the keys. I was super excited to get the keys, and immediately after getting the documents, sped off to the farm. I just couldn't wait any longer to go and have a look around and go and walk through the farm and just feel that things are mine. So what happened at the notary's office, as I already mentioned, they go through a ton of paperwork. Everyone had to be present. Everyone had to sign again. They had to ask for objections. It had to be read out, the entire document, to everyone present. The bank check was handed over to the seller. I was handed a piece of paper to say that this process had taken place, that there was no objections, and for everyone that was present on the day. This was done in front, of course, of the notary, which had to certify the documentation as well. My attorney was also present on the call. She dialed in via video call and was present for the whole thing. She was in fact the one that did the translation for me. I was handed that piece of paper, and I was also handed the original document of the farm, which just shows the area, what agriculture is on the farm. Sadly, nothing was quite marked off except for olives and vineyard. I still don't know what the varietals are, unfortunately. And of course it marks where the dams are, and then I get the plot number. So this was the original document of the farm, and that's what I've been given to date. The process after here takes about 2 weeks to be lodged at the deeds office. The attorney said it could take between 2 to 4 weeks, but I should have a copy of it within 2 weeks, apparently. And then with that copy of the deed registration, I can then go to the municipality to get things moved into my name. So that will be the next step after this. But I'm sorry I didn't get footage of the whole process. It really was an overwhelming day. I was pretty exhausted after the fact, but so happy. Everything went smoothly. I got the keys in hand. I got the deed signed. Everything went well, and the farm is now officially mine. In the next video, I will take you guys through a walkthrough of the farm and also try and explain a little bit what I have in mind to do at the farm as well in terms of the renovations. Stay tuned for the next video and the first official walkthrough of the farm. Thank you for joining on the journey. See you next time.